Yeah. When you actually zoom in on them with a camera such as this, yeah, with a high zoom, you can actually zoom in on them, which is a bit suspicious because they're supposed to be 2 quadrillion miles away. With an 83 times zoom, there should be no difference. Yeah. So literally, when you zoom in on these stars and planets, they're not, perfectly circular objects. Yeah. They're actually all unique. I don't know, things. I mean, one looks like watery fire, another one looks like electrical discharge, another one looks like an amoeba, another one looks like wheels within wheels.
So then we are in agreement that the Earth is flat, but all the other things are not flat. They have their own different shapes.
There's something. We don't
know.
We don't know.
Oh,
they're just lights. As far as we can tell, they're just lights.
But how do you know they're lights? What led you? No, I mean, what led you to the 100% belief that they're not an object, but it is light? Like, for instance, if I'm asking as a 7-year-old, if the moon comes up and I look up at the moon, and if I even zoom into the moon, I can see craters on the moon.
Indeed.
I can't see through the moon.
Indeed.
So that object does not look flat to me.
Well, here's the thing. If it's a body, a spherical body, which is reflecting the sun's light, well, it's not reflecting like any other spherical body, because a spherical body reflecting the sun's light would have a hot spot. No matter how matte the surface is, there'd be a hot spot exactly where the sunlight strikes it directly, and then the light would drop off around the curve. Yeah, we don't see that. We see the moon lit up uniformly over its whole surface. Yeah, it's either not spherical or it's emitting its own light. And it turns out that the light emitted out from the moon is completely different from that of the sun.
It's separate from the sun.
It's a cooling light.
Yeah, I've heard that, but what shape is it?
Well, again, it looks at least hemispherical.
Define hemispherical. I've never heard that word before.
Half a sphere. Yeah, because we can only see one side. We can only ever see one side. Yeah, which doesn't make sense because so many times the Earth has had a huge earthquake, and they say, well, it slowed the Earth's rotation by this much, and they've done that several times. Yeah, so this rotation of the moon is so precisely timed so that it always faces the same way. Yeah. If the Earth slows down a little bit, then that's going to throw that out. But it doesn't.
But what you believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, the Earth being flat, it doesn't rotate. It stays stationary.
It stays stationary.
So all the other things within the solar system, do they move or are they stationary?
They're moving all together.
They're moving around the flat Earth, or underneath the flat Earth, or.
There's a firmament, there's a dome, and according to the Old Testament, the stars are in the firmament. Okay? Yes. And
so you have the flat
sun,
Earth, and then you have the dome above the flat Earth.
Yes.
So within that, they all rotate within that dome.
Yes. The stars are supposedly in the firmament. Yeah. The firmament rotates and the stars rotate with that.
All right.
And there are things we call planets. The word planet means wandering star. Yeah. So these are the same sort of things as stars, but they're moving on a different trajectory.
Okay, I see.
Apparently close to the Earth, because those wandering stars are also known as the Watcher class angels.
Watchers?
Yeah, the Watchers. So they were close to watch over the Earth.
Which is another name for Nephilim.
Exactly. That's why all the planets are named after Nephilim.
Nephilim is supposed to be
right.
In Greek.
What, in the Book of Enoch you're talking about? Or
sorry? No. They're named after Nephilim because the fallen angels and Nephilim, they were the heroes and heroes of old.
But not necessarily heroes, but go ahead.
If they're beings, as you
hero doesn't mean the ancient word.
They were
hero
renowned.
It doesn't mean the same as it means now.
Okay,
So they were the giants and the titans and all that.
Yeah.
So the names of them right, were translated in various different languages. So that we use the Greek names, Greek and Roman names for the planets.
Right.
So
Okay.
just to be sure what you're saying, Earth is flat. There's a dome above the flat Earth,
Yep.
and within that dome we have the plethora of stars and the other planets,
Yep.
which have different shapes. None of them are spherical, different shapes, and they all rotate around the flat Earth, or they just rotate above
They're
the flat
in
Earth.
the firmament, yeah.
What is the
The
firmament?
firmament is the dome.
The dome.
Above you, anything above you.
Okay, so they're above the Earth, rotating above
Yes,
the Earth.
and inside the dome is the moon and the sun.
moon and the sun.
They're separate entities. You know, again, the Book of Remembrance says they were created as great luminaries. Okay.
Anytime your spirit transcends, right, and it goes up, yeah, or even down, believe it or not, you're in the atmospheric. You're in a different realm, and even spaces or skies are
from a
realm.
religious perspective when I heard that.
Well, I'm not a religious person.
You say that, but a lot of what you say.
I know, but there's a difference, yeah?
Okay.
The Old Testament is a book of history, real history, law, and guidance, yeah? For one particular people, okay? What's happened is other cultures have come along, put their book on top of our book, okay, and created a religion around it. We don't belong to a religion, we belong to a way of life. That's what the Old Testament describes, a way of life.
Finally, to believe the Earth is flat, can you explain then why doesn't water come off the edges? Is something holding the water in?
If you look at the model of the flat Earth, imagine a dinner plate, okay, the North Pole's in the middle, the continents are strung out round the North Pole, and around the edge is what we call Antarctica.
Yeah.
It's a 200-foot ice wall, followed by 300 miles of plain,
Yeah.
followed by 2-mile-high mountains, the Rockefeller Mountains, we believe. Yeah? So that's what's keeping the water in.
Can we ever travel to those mountains?
No, because if you try, you get turned away by the military.
Can I ask you a question based on that? Do you think there's anything over the mountain?
Well, I believe, going by what Admiral Byrd said, and this map that was in a newspaper 100 years ago, apparently it's a 1,000-year-old map. There are more continents beyond the ice.
Right.
And Admiral Byrd said that he found a continent the size of the continental US that's uninhabited on the other side of their base.
Because
that's what he said. But there's video. There's actual footage of them, going across Antarctica and finding warm water lakes.
Admiral Byrd, footage of it?
Yes.
We're going way back to the
50s.
There's footage of that?
Yes. You find it.
I'll go looking for it.
So
Admiral
there's
Byrd.
warm water lakes, and they're walking around in t-shirts and stuff. Yes.
Have you guys got a leaflet or anything like that?
A what?
Leaflets? Any leaflets or what you guys are about?
Well, the leaflets I have.
That gentleman had one. Nice one. Thank you very much. Is this headed by you,
Very
yeah?
much for your information. It's been very
You're welcome.
Is this headed by you, yeah?
Is it what?
Is this your organisation?
No, there's no organisation. There's
Just a group of people coming together?
yeah.
True. I'm a Hebrew. I adopt the understanding of a Hebrew, and I've gone as far as actually doing my DNA test as well, yeah?
Well, you can't trust that stuff.
Huh?
You can't trust that stuff.
I can't trust what?
Can't trust the DNA test. Guess where they go to get tested to
I
actually...
never met my dad, yeah?
Yeah, oh, okay.
But,
We like that the best. We really
you know, my mum named me after his name, and I'm still trying to work it out because, you know, I'm Jones, yeah? And he didn't go to the registry office with my mum, but yet he's not on my birth certificate, but she's given me his last name.
Okay. Yeah.
Possible. I mean, we're talking about 76, yeah? But the thing is this. Anyway, regardless of that. So I always grew up knowing that my surname is Jones, yeah? I done my DNA test. Never gave them my name. All I done was spit in the little bottle that they give you, right? Send it off, yeah? All they had was my email address, and I used a false name. So I'm very paranoid. about certain people having certain things. It came back, and it gives you a list of people who they feel are closest that fits in your DNA. 90% of them, their surnames are Jones.
Oh, okay.
And 90% of them originated from the countries of which my mum and my quote, my father claimed that he came from, yeah? Which is the West Indies, Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
So, you told me, man. I understand it's not perfect.
Yeah. Well, it depends on like maternal or paternal DNA. Yeah, they do mitochondrial DNA, which is the female, the maternal line.
Yeah.
But that line spreads out like that. Yeah, it's just like a
wow. Yeah.
And they only find one route through that. Yeah. So you miss out all this stuff.
Yeah.
The paternal one is the one you've got to check because your Y chromosome gets handed down from father to son all the way down,
Truly.
all the way back to Adam or somebody else. Yeah?
True.
So,
yeah, but the fact that they've done my DNA, I know my father's side because it's linked me with the family members with the surname Jones as I'm talking about.
All right, okay.
Yeah, so, it's linked me with my mum's side who are, Machette, and blah, blah, blah. But the Jones I've never met.
Okay.
And it so happened that my grandfather had 70 kids.
Bloody hell.
Exactly, so near enough everybody's my family, so as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, going back to the whole thing of because, both of my mum and my dad's side, yeah, it turns out that, and I'm not talking about the, these people who call themselves Jews, but they're not. They're from the synagogue of Satan. It's all to do with a geographic place in Africa that we came from, being the West, the West Shores. And not only that, but the names that come up in my...
Can I just ask Dave just what have you got?
Of course you can.
I'm just asking people how do you think the day went today?
Yeah, I think it went brilliantly. I was surprised. It's my first ever,
It's been awesome. Every one of them is different and everyone's been amazing. This has been a bit extra special because I think it's and I still get people that have been something like that, who's going to get that. But in general, people are coming here to listen to what's going on.
Well, this is exactly why this is a great spot.
It is.
Can I get in on this as well? Have I been kicked out the party?
Oh, no.
No, I don't mind. You go ahead because you're asking all the questions, so I'll just listen.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, well, wherever you I can see my the top of my head or the bottom of my head.
Can you want to do it? Can you tell me? I've not got the camera the right way around. I did it the wrong way around, so I can't see what I'm looking at.
Or maybe we should both be on this side and you talk to me.
Yeah, go ahead then. Come on. Right, hang on, that'll have to be that way. Right, okay.
Right, yeah, so I think it's different. This place is different because, where you, in shopping centres and stuff, you're actually nabbing people on their way to doing stuff and they're kind of unwilling to talk. This is a place where people come to listen to people, so this is ideal. So maybe we should do a few more then.
Definitely, totally agree with you. It's been awesome and I would definitely agree with Dave with coming back to Speaker's Corner. Don't know when, but as soon as possible, I think. Yeah, thank you very much.
Is that it?
Yeah, I just wanted to
come on, man. I was getting into that.
Just a quick flat earth, do what thing. But I can come and do something else in a bit. I just want
no problem.
Go make sure I've got everybody who has a little go on it. So
no worries,
thank
no
you.
worries.
Sorry for interrupting.
So what's... Alright, so, you know what? I'm going to have to have a look at this. But, right, so let's go into what you guys are actually here to do now, right? So, Flat Earth, what got you into Flat Earth?
Well, I wasn't intending to be a flat earther. I was researching something completely different.
Right.
And you know how there's all the suggestions on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I clicked on something while I was going to listen to while I was doing something else.
Yeah.
And this video came on about all these esoteric experiments.
Yeah.
I was a kind of a sciencey type guy anyway, so I was like listening to this stuff. And I kind of dawned on me that the experiments were kind of like flat earthy, you know. I was like, oh god, I better turn this off. I wanted to turn it off, and he was talking about an experiment, the Bedford Levels experiment. And with that, he gave me the calculation for the curvature.
Oh yes.
And I thought, hang on a second, that would make the Earth really, really small.
Yeah.
You know? So I was thinking, okay. So I took that calculation and I went around looking at things. So I was down at Plymouth Hoe. So I knew that the Eddystone Lighthouse was 8 miles away.
Yeah.
So I was there down at the water's edge, you know, and I could see the bottom of that lighthouse. So no, hang on, I shouldn't be able to see that. It should be like, you know, 32 feet.
By zooming in with your Nikon, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know, well, I didn't have this camera, but I could see the bottom of the where the waves hit the rocks. I shouldn't have been able to see that. So that hooked me. So I was going around.
So you've divided, you know, obviously from where you was to where that, what is it, a lighthouse?
Yeah, it was a lighthouse, yeah.
Lighthouse. Okay, so you said that was 8 miles, but where should the bend actually start happening? What's the distance?
The calculation is 8 inches per mile squared. Yeah. So the first mile, there'll be 8 inches of curvature. The second mile, there'll be 8 squared. Yeah.
And that's per mile.
Yeah, it's squared. So it's
So each mile there should be 8 inches of it going down.
Well, not 8 inches. It's squared. Each mile squared.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's you know, it's 8 inches and then 32 inches and then.
Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Because otherwise it'd be slow.
Of course. That's right.
Which was noticeable.
Yes.
Very noticeable.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. Right, all right. So, I mean, to be quite honest, for it to be squared, my maths is never good at school, yeah? But for it to be squared, you say it should be noticeable on a slope, but it should even be even more noticeable on the square, because you're going from 8 to what? 12, 16, 32?
Well, no, it's 8, 32.
It's 8 inches times 8.
Right, so it's 8, 16, 32, 64, whatever it is. Yeah?
Well, if you're looking at 8 inches, 8 miles, it's 8 inches times 8 miles.
Squared.
So it's 8 here.
8 inches times 8 miles squared. 8 times 8, 64. Times 8.
Oh, that's it. 8, 64.
Times 8, and then you can work out how many feet from that.
Yeah. I did say my maths is no good.
I didn't even give the right answer, did I?
But either way, right, it will still be noticeable, isn't it?
Right, this is the point.
Yeah.
They've told us for 500 years that you can stand on the beach and watch a boat go out to sea and you'll see it go over the curve. So that's a great experiment. 500 years ago, they had to rely on, you know, your eyesight. But now we have
technology.
900s. So great experiment. You watch a boat go out to sea and you see it go over the curve. Zoom in on it with the camera, it comes back. So at that level of zoom, watch it through the camera, go over the curve, zoom in some more, it comes back, and so on to the limit.
At some point, there should be. You shouldn't be able to pick it up because it's gone so far over the curve. That it's gone below.
No.
With the camera, you should pick up the bend, you know?
That's what I'm saying. If going on their round Earth thing, when it get.
The point is, for 500 years, they've said to the naked eye, right, you should see it go over the curve. Your horizon with the naked eye is 3 miles. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 3 miles, it's supposedly gone. You zoom in, it's
You still
back,
see it, yeah.
So that's more. You're looking more than 3 miles.
Yeah, yeah.
It goes outside of that zoom level.
Yeah.
You zoom in, it's back. So we're talking 6 miles,
Yeah.
7 miles, 8 miles.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to see it at all.
True.
But the point is, it never goes anywhere. And if I had unlimited zoom, and unlimited clear atmospherics, I would see it forever. But obviously, I can't. But,
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
the point
definitely.
is, no curves ever detected. And the other thing about that is if you supposedly see a boat go over the horizon in 3 miles, that way, well, I can see 3 miles that way, 3 miles that way, so I should be able to see a curve over 6 miles, which should be enough to hide 4 ships.
That's true. And you know what has really kind of got me thinking? And it's funny, it's not just now. I remember as a kid, right? You know, teachers used to tell me the earth is spinning X amount of miles per hour.
1,000 miles an hour.
1,000 miles an hour. And I'm saying to myself, but I'm standing up. Right? It might sound silly, but I don't feel dizzy.
But that's the creative thought, thinking that.
Exactly.
That is creative thought.
Exactly. And I was a kid then, funny enough, right? But that weren't the only one. Now, later on, I watched a video where the guy was saying, if that's the case and the plane's coming down to land, he would have to take into consideration the turning of the earth.
Yeah. Exactly.
Movement of the landing.
Because I call it the Coriolis effect, That you can, a sniper shooting maybe over 2 miles or something, has to take into account that the bullet, as it leaves the barrel of the gun, is now no longer spinning with the earth, and it's going to veer off to one side. Actually, if you talk to any gun experts, they all say, no, that's not what happens. You know, sometimes the elevation goes off a bit. But it doesn't happen. So they say that's what happens. But then it doesn't happen with planes. The plane is in the air much longer. So according to them, to go west or go east, you'd have to go north because you go like that and you'd be going like that.
Exactly. Exactly.
No, it doesn't happen.
And I mean, I've heard pilots say it, and they've been flying planes for years. So, do you know what? I'm battling. I'll be honest with you. I'm 70%. I'm 80% sort of swaying towards the flat Earth because I know it's been lying to us about a lot of things. And it's not only the flat Earth. It's the whole thing of giants, Nephilims, watchers, as you call them. You read books and they tell you about bones of dinosaurs. Never share the fact that they found bones of giant human beings. And for me, for those who are not religious, is to hide the truth that is written in the book.
Yes, it is. Absolutely. They didn't include much in the actual Bible. Obviously, Romans got to choose what went into the Bible and what didn't. So they only put like 1 or 2 lines about the Nephilim in there.
That's right.
But if you look at the Book of Enoch, which
that's
was
right.
taken out.
That's right.
Because it's still in the Ethiopic Bible.
That's right.
That's part of it.
It's in my 1611. King James.
So you look at the Book of Enoch, gives you much more detail about that event.
Absolutely.
And
that they taught men how to make weapons.
Yes, they taught
technology and all that.
What was it? Money. They said working of precious metals and jewels and stuff. Money. So they've given us the negative technologies,
that's right.
Showing women how to fool men with makeup,
Come on now. That's everyone.
I mean, yes. But again, when you think about what the Nephilim brought with them, or that bloodline brought with them, they brought with them all those perversions.
That's right.
The transvestitism and transsexualism,
asexual,
and bisexual, homosexual, bestiality, you name it. Plus, so using makeup, you can fool somebody, to believing a man is a woman.
Oh yeah.
And
I mean, I'll be honest with you. You know what? it's even messed with me, right? Because you got this this little boy, yeah. He was a little boy. Now I think he's like 17. I can't remember his name, but they've been following him since he was like 7 or 8, and apparently he's saying from he was 7 or 8, he's always felt like a girl. But he's been going through hormones and different things. And today, I swear on my life, today you look at him, you think it's just a 17-year-old girl. And it's dangerous because you're thinking, all right, they're taking hormones from that age.
That's confusion from the thing is I don't want to get society how it's come along, infusing certain bloodlines with other bloodlines, and that shouldn't be allowed. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But there's another side to it because there are several people who've gone through all that process and realised, actually, I'm not a girl. And they've had to reverse it.
Well, you can't, can you? Once you chop it off.
People have actually gone in reverse because they realise.
So what they've done then?
I don't
got
know.
an artificial thing.
I don't know, but I met.
1 minute. Sorry, guys. Let me just grab this quickly. Sorry, guys.
For a while.
Yeah, sorry, man.
I met at least one guy who was telling me like, he reversed it. Also, homosexuality. You know, there's a chemical that turns frogs, you know, male frogs into women. Yeah?
That's right, yeah.
And it turns men homosexual. And I've been putting it in a
the
whole
food
range
and
of
stuff.
foods. Yeah. And some people have detoxed and become straight.
Really?
Yes. Some guys told me that's what happened to him. We were having a chat about
Through
it.
detoxing, yeah?
He detoxed.
They lost their libido and in time.
They detox and literally the atrazine, which is a chemical, must have come out of them and they were straight again.
Wow.
So, you know
Interesting.
This whole idea isn't what we think it is.
Yeah, no. And do you know what? I'll be honest with you. You know, I used to be anti-gay. When I say anti, I used to be extremely homophobic, right? Today, not so much, because they're people.
They're people.
For me to say I'm perfect, I'm not.
Well, I totally don't agree with what they do because
I don't agree with what they do.
The Bible says that it's an abomination, and I go with that.
Absolutely. I don't agree with what they do, right? But for me to say I hate them more than I hate somebody that will come in my house and steal, or rape my daughter, or do any other, it all comes under sin.
I don't judge anyone.
Right. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm even more accepting or not. But also, while I'm saying that, I also want to say that I don't think some of them can help it. Listen, I was born here. I went to Jamaica when I was 7.
Yeah.
So I was still in not kindergarten, junior school. So my next door neighbour, his name was Sean, right? He was the same age as me. At that age of 7, and we're talking about Jamaica that used to be extremely homophobic. He was very feminine. Extremely feminine. I remember, you know, we would get into little altercations and he wouldn't talk to me for years. And I'm talking about, he's over, like, because in Jamaica, so, you know what I mean, the fence is only so high. So I can see him playing with his brothers and sisters. I didn't have no brothers and sisters, yeah. And I'd be like, sure. And he'll go like he don't see me, turn his back, it's like, you know what I mean? And then later on we'll start talking, and when we talk, we're tight. But the thing is, his characteristics were extremely feminine. And I'm saying that I'm looking on some of these people, because I'm intrigued with how they are. How they are, the way they are. I'm intrigued, I look on it, I study, I'm very much a people, I study things. And I'm looking at this, but I'm thinking, I wonder if these people really are born like this. I do, I'm asking myself this question. And I think, going back to what you're talking about, the food does have a lot to do with it. It's chemicals. But I don't think they're acting like this. I think they actually are like that.
No, you know, in every plastic item there's BPA.
I know, but this is, I know it's rubbed off now. It's BPA free.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
wish it was glass though. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's chemical.
Yeah, it's an artificial hormone.
Yeah.
So it literally feminizes men.
It adds more estrogen. And that's why, you know, I'm lactose intolerant. I used to.
We're all lactose intolerant.
More so black people.
If you're tolerant of lactose, it means your body is lacking in vitality, so it's no longer responding to it.
Really?
That's how it's the way they've flipped the script there. They made weakness sound like a strength.
Yeah.
So when you get an immunity to something, it's not really an immunity. It's your body no longer responding to it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. You bypass the natural the natural signals that your body tells you about you're in danger. Because you've literally took liberties.
If you take a poison, the first thing that will happen is you throw up.
Yeah.
Like if you start drinking for the first time.
Yeah.
Alright, you throw up.
Yeah.
If you drink again, again you might throw up.
Yeah.
Drink your third time, your body will go, oh, looks like he's making this a habit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to suppress the throwing up mechanism.
That's right.
And try and find a way to live with this.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
you think, oh, I've got an immunity to it now, but no, your body has declined in its vitality to accommodate this new habit of yours.
That's right. Doesn't mean that it's not doing the damage.
It is doing the damage.
That's right.
But your body's now not responding in its way because it knows you're going to be doing this on the long term.
That's right.
And it's depressed itself slightly so that it can manage this poison you're putting in.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, baby cows, just to say this on the wrap, baby cows, if they drink their mother's milk, they die. Calves. You know what I mean? No, the farmers don't give the calves the mother's milk. They got a formula that they give them. But yet they're feeding us the mother's cow, the mother's milk. So, it's a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But listen, it's good. Sorry, what's your name?
Dave.
Dave, yeah? Darren, yeah?
Hi, Darren.
Social Info Radio.
Sorry?
Social Info Radio. Just you put that into YouTube. You got a YouTube channel?
I have.
Yeah, what's yours?
Let me give you a card.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not. Well, you can get to my website and you'll find my YouTube channel on there.
Okay, that's your name though, yeah?
Yeah, I'm known as allegedly Dave.
Yeah. So, Dave, yeah? Alright, cool.
And if you're interested, it's my book about how the human body works.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And how to heal yourself of anything with nothing. For free.
With nothing?
Yep. I've helped about...
No herbs you're talking about?
No herbs. And I've helped about 900,000 people, you know, so far. I help people for nothing. So, you know, I've helped a load of people.
Really?
Yeah.
With nothing? Are you talking about energy?
Sorry?
Talking about energy?
No. It's all about letting your body do its job, because your body's designed to keep yourself absolutely healthy. As long as you let it do it, you'll heal yourself.
Wow, that's interesting.
And the point is that everything the medical establishment tells you to do interferes with the job.
Wow, that's brilliant. Is your number on there, on this card you gave me?
Yeah.
That's good, because when you go into Social Info Radio, you'll see what I've started a few months ago. I was inspired by Dr. Sebi with a lot of things that he used, and that got me on the journey. I got sponsored by a company a tester that will test alkalinity and acidity, in stuff. But you're telling me without nothing.
Yeah, Dr. Sebi was on the right track, but he was still flogging moringa and things like that,
yeah? And what's wrong with moringa?
Well, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's a methodology, because it's the same allopathic method that the medical establishment use.
Yeah.
Moringa and any other plants, what they do is get rid of symptoms, yeah? The symptom isn't the problem.
Wow.
It's like taking your car into a mechanic's, because the engine warning lights come on.
Yeah.
And the mechanic takes the bulb out. So the symptom, which is the warning light, is gone.
Yeah.
But the problem's still there.
It's still there.
And that's what Sebi's doing. The Moringa takes away the symptom.
Wow.
And it's just storing up problems for later.
Wow.
So rather, I go for healing the body, and all their symptoms go away.
So it's not. Do you mind just give me a little opening? It's not spirit. It's not energy.
No.
Is it spiritual?
No.
Is it? Oh, so it's a mindset. How you think.
Mindset comes into it.
Yeah.
There's 4 things.
Right.
4 things.
Yeah.
1, stop poisoning yourself.
Right.
Change your diet to an all-fruit diet.
Okay.
I won't give you the full story, but
All fruit.
Yeah, all fruit. 2, get rid of the poison that's already in you. Yeah.
Fasting.
No, it's distilled water.
Ooh.
And urine.
And urine.
Urine. Okay. Number 3 is give your body the energy it needs, right, to heal itself. Fasting.
Right.
Okay. Number 4 is change the way you think, because all disease starts here. So if you change the way you think, you'll stop hindering your healing, and if you manage to heal without it, then you're going to re-trigger it later. So you've got to
Change the way you think.
Yes. So that's it.
Powerful.
And that's the book. The book link I gave you there. My book just goes through the 4 things and exactly how to do it.
Wow, excellent. Now, you know what? Listen, I'll put that on the radio. It's already on the radio.
Right.
What's your name again, sorry?
Dave. Allegedly Dave.
Allegedly Dave, yeah? Boy, that's... we got to have another interview. I'd like to interview you, man.
Give me a shout.
Yeah, definitely, and we're going to interview. What's your name, brother? Paul, yeah? Nice to meet you. You guys work together?
Just me. You
just met her, yeah? But you're a flat earther and that, yeah? Okay, no doubt. Yeah, man, definitely. Well, guys, listen, we'll definitely be in touch.
Right,
Dave,
give me a shout.
we'll be in touch, definitely, man.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You're a good guy, man.
Cheers.
Take care, bro. Right, peace, that's it. It's been a long day. I'm out.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.